Welcome to the Trading Sliders Podcast. Here we go, episode number 12 of the Trading Sliders Podcast. What's going on, Flash?
Not much, Bobby. What have you been up to?
Oh, same old, man. Working in the garage. Yeah. It's that time of year. I got people calling left and right. Can you do this? Can you get this done? Can we get this done? I had a guy message me, how soon after Christmas can you get to something? I'm like, bro, I'm backed up.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
Yeah, that's a good problem to have. Episode number 12, presented this week by G&G Radiator. Daniel Glover over at G&G Radiator, and we really appreciate Daniel for reaching out and wanting to be a part of the show. So, this episode is brought to you by G&G Radiator, right over there in beautiful New Albany, Indiana.
Yeah,
right across the bridge, over in your neck of the woods.
Yeah, he's on the good side of the river.
He's on the sunny side of the pond, as they say. Yeah, on the sunny side of the pond there. This week's episode is going to be a little bit different, guys. We are doing things just a tad bit different this week. We're starting our first Old Racetrack segment. And, what better way to start the Old Racetrack segment than having Jeff Ward, the guy that wrote, sang, produced the Old Racetrack, former racer himself. Jeff Ward is going to be on today's show, talking about
awesome song.
Yes, it's a great song, and we're just kind of going to do this whole. We're going to go through our rundown and everything like we normally do, but this whole show is going to kind of be an old racetrack / new racetrack situations going on right now.
Yeah.
But guys, you really want to stick around for the interview. Jeff Ward, give us a little live version right here in studio.
Yeah.
Really neat. I didn't know he was going to do that. I didn't know he was going to bring his guitar and, break it out. But, a kid that grew up at the racetrack, same as we did. I mean, so got a love for the sport and a love for music and a talented music singer and songwriter.
Comes from a racing family.
Yeah. So what better way to start? What we're going to do at least once a month, maybe twice a month. Well, put it to you this way. A little inside baseball here. It's going to be once a month until after January because we have a slew of interviews lined up.
Yeah.
But once we get through these interviews that we've done, we're going to do once a month, and it's going to be the Old Racetrack segment. So we're going to talk to racers that raced at previous racetracks. And this song here is particularly about Louisville Motor Speedway, and that's what we get into in the interview. But that doesn't necessarily mean Louisville Motor Speedway. We're going to talk about Glasgow, Charlestown, Fairgrounds, every road racetrack, Campbellsville, Bluegrass Speedway, and Bardstown.
Yeah,
every old racetrack that closed down. There's stories to be told. There's memories that was made, and we're going to try to keep that alive in the Old Racetrack segment. Really excited about this segment. I'm going to be honest with you. Hasn't been real easy to get some of these old guys to talk about it.
Yeah.
But we're going in the right direction. So we got some older guys that's going to come on. And actually one of them told me, Flash, I didn't even know you was doing a radio show. I said, well, I guess it kind of is a radio show. But we don't have no big studios. So.
Yeah.
And then one of them told me, I'm not going to talk on camera. I said, well, good, because we don't have one. But yeah, in all seriousness, this is something we're really looking forward to. One thing about Jeff Ward, we get into it in the interview here in a little bit, but he grew up going to the racetrack, and one thing about his song that really stuck out to me when I first heard it is it's just good, wholesome, and it just takes you back. Well, we didn't think about it at this time. It takes you back a few years. Well, it's been almost 25 years since Louisville Motor Speedway closed down.
Yeah.
And I know we got people here in this Louisville area that they spent their entire lives at that racetrack. And this kind of goes back to our interview with Mike Gibson earlier when I said, at one time I didn't care if this place closed down, but I'm glad it didn't. And that's the way I was with Louisville. At the time, I was racing there. Everybody hates the racetrack they race at.
Yeah.
Last year we was up at Lawrenceburg, and people were bitching about Lawrenceburg. And what we're about to get into, about some racetracks in this area, some positive and negative, what's going on, right now in our area. Guys, we can't keep taking these racetracks for granted. So don't bitch, help out, reach out.
Yeah.
Just like Mike Gibson said, come give us a shot. And Mike says he's still done early. I'm gonna have to see it to believe it because I've been to the sports show, but that's just me. But one thing, and we're gonna get into the all tech stuff. 101 super late models or crate late models. I'm sorry.
Crate models, 604 late models.
Yeah, 101 604 late models. Barry Braun and XR is getting beat up again, and I almost kind of feel sorry for this guy, Flash.
Yeah,
he's thinking outside the box. He's doing everything that he can to be different than everybody else. Right. So what's he do? He has a couple $100,000 win races, and I don't know the inside and outs of it, but he had some problem getting some guys paid. They did get paid though.
Yeah.
They did get paid, but we had some problems, and it took a while for people to get their money. And then he advertises 250 604 crate late models. I'm thinking, cool.
Yeah.
Now, just like everybody else, here comes the bitching. They had 101 cars. So 101 crate late models, and people are complaining like, damn. He said he was going to have 250. Well, guys, if he said he had 250, that means 250 people paid their entry fee. So that's a very, very good possibility that there's plenty of extra money for this event. So give the guys a break. And, worst case scenario, the guys race for $5,000 on Thursday night and $5,000 on Friday night. We're recording this show. This is late Friday night / early Saturday morning. So we can't get into what happened Saturday, but we did watch the races tonight, and we watched the races last night. And 101 current late models. Last night, or Thursday night, it'd be Thursday night.
Yeah.
Technically. Thursday night, downtown Michael Brown out of South Carolina started 7 and took the lead over Ross Bells, which Ross Bells started 8th, but Bells got up and led for a little bit. Cody Overton actually led the first 15 laps. They're 30-lap qualifiers. Cody Overton actually led the first 15 laps, got real snug on the cushion, just about put her in the fence. And when he did, Ross Bells went by him. And I thought it was going to be Katie barred the door. I thought it was going to be over, but downtown Michael Brown, that kid out of South Carolina, he's going to be special.
Yeah.
He was running the wall. I'm talking like finger width wide up on the cushion. And I don't know if a lot of you guys have been to All Tech or not, or seen All Tech. It slicks off, and these 2 nights it had a cushion.
Yeah.
Usually you got to run on the wall. So, moving forward, the speed weeks at the Lucas Oil Late Model Series is going to have at All Tech. If the racetrack was like it was tonight, we're going to be in for a thriller here in about a month and down at Speed Weeks. So, but Michael Brown took the win over Ross Bells and Cody Overton. And what they're doing with these, they have 2 complete shows, Thursday and Friday. And then the top 20 is locked in for the 100K to win. And then we go, they take 8 out of the qualifiers, I think.
Yeah.
But Friday night, Mark Wagner, the Magic Man, Mark Wagner, Flash, check this out. Started 16th and took the win.
Yeah.
And if you know anything about the Magic Man, Mark Wagner, if we got some 604 crate late model fans on here, he was not doing it around the bottom.
Yeah.
He doesn't get the nickname the Magic Man riding around the U-tires. So hats off to Mark Wagner. And another throttle stomper behind him started 10th and ran 2nd was Turbo Tyler Erb. And this name right here, Flash, started 3rd, ran 3rd, but that doesn't tell the story. If you looked on my race pass, it didn't tell the story. Randy Weaver, Dream Weaver, come out of retirement, and led about 15 laps. Thought Weaver was going to get him one, but he ran 3rd. But congratulations to Mark Wagner holding off one of the best dirt late model racers in the country and one of the best dirt late model racers from the Southeast. Period. And then Randy Weaver.
Yeah.
So that was what went on at All Tech on Thursday and Friday. Like I said, this is being recorded. Well, it's actually, let's go ahead and slide this, let everybody in. It's being recorded because Sunday, when we normally do our show, we're going to be on the road.
Yeah.
Again. That's what we do. On the road. Not going to tell you exactly, who's going to be on the show next. But if you're a sprint car fan and you're from, I don't know, Kokomo, Indiana.
Yeah.
There's a good possibility. That's our guest for next week. We can put it that way. So maybe we'll do do a poll and see if people can guess who we have. But we're traveling up to Kokomo this Sunday. So we're recording the show late Saturday, early Saturday, late Friday. I don't know.
Yeah.
This whole damn week's just ran together.
Yeah.
So, one thing I want to talk about with PRI show and everything, USAC. Well, first off, everybody's releasing their schedules at the PRI show, and there's some comers and goers and some things that I really want to talk about. Two things that really stuck with me. Bloomington and Lincoln Park are both having 410 wing sprint cars there this year.
Oh yeah.
The Fast/Power Eye series.
Yeah.
So that's going to be. I said Lincoln Park. I'm sorry. Well, no, Lincoln Park is too. Lincoln Park. Scratch that. I screwed that all up. Let me redo this. Bloomington and Paragon have the Fast series.
Right.
Or no, I don't know. We got 410 wing sprint cars at Bloomington, Paragon, and Lincoln Park this year.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the Fast series or the All Stars. I think the All Stars is at Bloomington and Paragon and Circle City is the Fast series.
Yeah.
I don't know. But there's 4 wing sprint car races, regional wing sprint car races of the new series in Indiana. That's awesome. That's incredible. Being in a traditional non-wing world.
Yeah.
But knowing me and knowing the people with the Trading Sliders, that we really like the non-wing sprint cars, major breaking news to people at the PRI show, but to the listeners of the Trading Sliders podcast, if you would listen, I don't know, let's say 7 episodes ago,
yeah,
you know this is not too major breaking because Pat Sullivan kind of helped us out and let the cat out of the bag. But USAC Indiana Sprint Week opens up at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Huge event.
Yeah.
Huge event. Actually, funny thing is, I asked Pat Sullivan, do you want me to take that out of the show?
Yeah.
You know, and he goes, no. So I'm like, okay. So,
yeah.
But, yeah, Indiana Sprint Week is opening up at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And thank God for that, because I think that's going to be going forward. Maybe we can get a modified race, or maybe we can get a street stock race, or a late model race. I mean, they just raced at Gateway. It's a 5th mile.
Or get the kids in the
micro sprints.
Up there. Yeah, maybe.
So hopefully
on Wednesday nights.
Yes, every Wednesday.
So everybody can go.
Yes, every Wednesday, Tuesday, Thursday, whatever the hell.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, anytime during the week, I don't care what day it is. Major news coming out of that. New ownership, or lease management taking over at Bloomington Speedway. Pat Sullivan kind of let us in on that. That news too. What you didn't let us in on the next story though, but we'll get into that. New ownership, and they're coming out with swinging. Haven't been totally confirmed yet, but I think there's going to be a Northern All-Star late model, Super Late model, and Northern All-Star modified.
Yeah.
Haven't spoke to James Essick yet. He's still TBA on his schedules, to be announced. I think it's coming out real soon, though.
Yeah.
But Bloomington Speedway, there's going to be some Super Late model races. I think it's been back in the old Northern All-Star Indiana late model week was the last time there was Super Late models at Bloomington Speedway.
Yeah.
So that's going to be it's going to be really, really neat. And then, like I said, there's going to be some wing sprint car races at Bloomington. And if anybody played the 2002 World of Outlaw video game like we did a lot, because Johnny Gibson told you, Bloomington Speedway is home of 9-second laps. Looking forward to seeing wing sprint cars at Bloomington.
I watched 40-lap feature of her lasted less than 5 minutes one day.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of like me. That's what Tanya calls me, the 40-lap feature sometimes.
Yeah.
So, but one couple of negatives. Well, one's going to be a negative / turn into a positive. Lincoln Park Speedway, the Spikers decided that they're raced out. That's pretty much what the press release said.
Yeah.
And we talked about that with them running Bloomington, Lincoln Park, and Paragon all at the same time.
Yeah,
that's
a big undertaking right there.
Yeah, a major undertaking, and it was he's the one that started getting the ball rolling at Paragon, and the people at Paragon now have made some vast improvements. But Joe Spiker's stepping away, and I hate this because Lincoln Park Speedway is one of the most beautiful facilities in the country, and it's just because of Joe Spiker. There's no other reason. It's just him that did all the legwork. But I think they already have somebody in play. I don't know how to say this politically correct.
Yeah, it might have somebody lined up to take over.
Yeah,
pretty much.
The racetrack's not going away.
Yeah,
let's be politically correct that way. The racetrack is not going away. Lincoln Park Speedway is going to be there. They're on the USAC schedule. They're on. I done looked at so many damn schedules. Like I said, they're either on the All Stars or the Fast or the Power Eye or the Power Eye All Stars that's going really fast. Hell, I don't know.
Right.
But they got wing sprint cars, non-wing sprint cars, midgets, and I think they're going to have a super late model race there too.
Yeah.
And the last time we were there, a super late model race, is when Don O'Neill.
Yeah.
It was Don O'Neill. Yeah, Don O'Neill went for a ride.
Yeah, he flipped out.
Yeah.
Turn 1 and 2 down there.
Yeah, the real deal damn near landed back in Martinsville.
Yeah.
Going in turn 1 and 2 and qualifying. So that was the last time that, I think that might have been the last time ever there was super late model.
I think it might have been.
Yeah. So, really looking forward to, to that news being, progress forwards and we find out who's running Lincoln Park. But Lincoln Park is still going to be open. So one of the best racetracks in the country. It's still going to be open. It's just without Joe Spiker running and I don't know about you, Flash, but I kind of hope they keep the mini tacos there.
Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty good.
I hope. This is the fat ass in me,
Yeah.
but I really, really hope that the mini tacos are kept on the menu.
Well, luckily when we got there that last time we went, that was about all we got to do was eat tacos because we done drove 300 miles and coming from another track we got rained out at and got over there and the lights went out and then it got rained out there. So we did get to see about 15 laps of racing though.
Yeah, that could segue into we're going to talk about Portsmouth, and that would be our first Old Racetrack story.
Yeah.
But Portsmouth Raceway is not opening this year, and I seen they were on the Lucas Oil schedule.
Yeah, they had a 25,000 to win race 4th of July weekend, I think.
Yeah. And the high limit was taken off of they took theirs off the high limit schedule too. So I don't know if Lucas Oil is going to try to reschedule that, or with another racetrack. Or if they're just going to cancel it, or they may just have a one-off event at Portsmouth. I've been to Portsmouth. The facility is really good. I mean, it's a really, really neat place. But on the river and the sand and the muck and the flooding, it doesn't really race real good.
I vote for Lucas Oil to talk to Lawrenceburg.
Yeah,
But I think Lawrenceburg already has a big race that weekend, don't they?
Yeah, that's the USAC doubleheader.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it's the USAC doubleheader. But so I don't know. Hopefully, the race gets scheduled somewhere. But I know Rick Swally and them at Lucas Oil. We don't got to tell Lucas Oil what to do.
Yeah, they'll figure it out.
They don't need some racetracks may need our help, need our opinion. They don't.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they cover the country, and we don't need to help them schedule.
No.
Now there's some traveling series that they could use some geography tips from me.
Yeah.
Not them. So, but yeah, like Flash was saying, one of our racetrack stories is we went to Lincoln Park Speedway via Highland Speedway. Yeah, I know. We live in Louisville, Kentucky area, so that doesn't sound like it's too straight of a drive, and it wasn't. We went 3.5 hours to Highland. As soon as we roll up, the clouds opened up, and it rained, and it rained, and it rained. It was bad. But one thing about Highland, they don't give up. They tried to cut the bottom of the track in and get the show in, but
yeah, it was just too much.
Yeah, just the only thing they was racing that night was drag boats.
Yeah.
So being the race chasers that we are, we look up and we say, all right, Lincoln Park Speedway's running. Actually, Paragon had a super late model race.
And Red Hill was racing too.
And Red Hill. We had 3 options.
Yeah.
We had 3 options. Red Hill got rained out.
Yeah.
So that we kind of figured that by looking at our radar.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people don't know this, but Kurt, not only is he an avid fisherman, he's an avid radar watcher.
I'm an amateur meteorologist.
Yeah. So Flash tells me, I don't think we should go there. And I said, look, bro, as much as you look at the radar, if you don't think we should go there, our ass ain't driving there. So, but that being said, that was probably our straightest trip back home.
Yeah.
So if we were going to get rained out again, that would have been at least on the way home.
Right.
So we looked up, and Paragon was running the Ultimate Heart of America Super Late Models. And I looked on my race pass, and Paragon was about ready to start the damn features because I guess they paid attention and knew the rain was coming.
Yeah.
So Paragon was about to start the features when we had 2.5 hours to get there. So Paragon was a no-go. We looked at Lincoln Park, and Lincoln Park must have had a couple red flags that night. They had about 100 race cars. so we could make it. And we made it.
The problem was we would drive 50 miles and stop to go to the bathroom or something, and then the storm would catch us again, blow in front of us, and we'd have to drive back through it again.
Well, see, Flash is being really politically correct here. All right, so that's his side of the story. I'm gonna tell you what happened. We left out of the racetrack. We took these windy ass country roads.
Yeah.
I'm running like 90 and a 20. We get in front of the storm, and then my wife says, "I gotta pee." So we stop. Storm comes. I get back on this country road. I'm running 90 and a 20. We get out of the storm. I make it to the expressway. As soon as I get on the expressway, Kurt's wife goes, "I gotta pee." I said, "Are you shitting me?" So we get off the expressway. I go pee. We get back on the expressway. And not only did we outrun the storms twice, we were going to have to do it the third time. But the third time, it proceeded to dump 10 inches of rain on us.
Yeah.
So we got out in front of the storm about 100 miles later. We got to the racetrack. We're looking, and Kurt being notice he said amateur meteorologist. He's not a professional. He said amateur.
No way.
He looks at the radar. We're good. We're in the clear. So, okay, we get off. We get to the racetrack.
Wait a minute. If the lights wouldn't have went out, we would have made it.
But I'm getting there. So we get to the racetrack, and we walk in. Actually, first we're watching on my race pass. Kurt's amateur meteorologist / navigator / keep up with live timing on my race pass. There's a major red flag in it.
There's a lot going on in this car.
Yeah, a whole lot. And to make matters worse, I just about killed us running off the expressway anyway. But that's a whole other story. So Kurt tells me, and they must be on a major red flag, so we're good. So I'm following the GPS, which I know not to do ever, because I've been to Lincoln Park Speedway. It feels like 1,000 times, but I know it's been close to 50. And it tells me to get off this road. The GPS, Kurt says, it says get off the road. First of all, Flash puts in, while all this is going on, Flash has the what's that called? Waze app on the GPS. Tanya has on the Google Maps. And I'm getting directions from every which angle. And I know I'm on the right interstate, and they're both telling me to get off at a different exit. And I know we're not nowhere near close to the damn racetrack. But I'm okay, whatever. Because Tanya's ready to kill me. My wife's ready to kill me because I've been running 100 for 300 miles. And she's got to pee again. And we're not peeing again until we get to the racetrack. So we get off and we go through this damn country back windy road. And we come out right next to the same damn exit that if I would have just kept going my way, we would have got off at the exit. So we lost 30 minutes. They had a red flag. I know this is a long, drawn-out story, but it's worth it. So we lost 30 minutes. They have a red flag. We get there. They're throwing the checker flag of the sprint car race. Flash says, "Oh, yeah, I didn't reload my race pass," because we're thinking, all right, we're going to get to see the end of the sprint car picture. Then we get there, and Haley Burns is being pushed off the track from the interview. Modifieds are pulling out on the staging. We're like, well, hell, at least we get to watch the modifieds, the super stocks, and the 305 wing sprint cars.
Yeah.
So we're like, we're going to see our buddy Ethan Barrow run. We're going to get to watch Derek Losh and the modifieds. It's going to be great. So we go to the concession stand. And this is no joke. If I'm lying, Flash can smack me right now. We're standing in line for the concession stand. Every light on the property goes completely dark. Bloop. So we get what tacos are left.
Yeah.
Because they've already had half-price food, 2 for 1. Everything's empty.
Yeah.
We get what tacos are left. We go to the bleachers. By this time, Tanya is coming back from the bathroom. She's ready to kill me because we've run 400 miles across the country, and now it's pitch black. Except there's 2 little lights shining to the right. That storm that had no chance of hitting us, that we outran by our amateur meteorologist, says,
"Yep,
we got about 15 minutes.
Lightning's getting closer and closer."
So Lincoln Park did a phenomenal job.
Oh, yeah.
20 minutes, they had the lights up. Modified feature rode off, and the modified feature is a damn good race.
Oh, yeah.
Derek Losh went to the top, and it was a hell of a race, but it just ended 5 laps prematurely.
Yeah.
With that storm that we drove 300 miles in.
Yeah, and outran twice, or 3 times.
We outran it 3 times. We didn't outrun it the 4th time. It rained, and it rained from there to back to Louisville.
Yeah.
We drove roughly 500 miles in nothing but a monsoon.
We've seen 15 laps of racing.
Seen 15 laps of racing at 2 different racetracks that had well over 250 race cars.
Yeah.
So for the people that say they want to go on race trips with us, you better be ready for a race trip.
Prepared.
But that's just some of our stories of the way things work out.
Yeah.
But like I said, on this week, the Old Racetrack segment, Jeff Ward, he's got a really funny backstory to how they wrote the song. One thing that I'm really impressed with, and he said it, I think he said, he's had like 15 views on that song, and like, to me, I know how big Louisville Speedway was, and I know people in our area that don't even have no clue that song's out.
Yeah.
And once they realize that it's out, and this kid, I say kid, he's 40. He said, I mean, they call me a kid, but I'm 40. But
yeah,
he's got a really good future writing songs. That's what I told him. I said, man, just do you, because your music is really good. And I know it sounds kind of cheesy, but that it hits home because that's how we spend our weekends.
Yeah.
We spend our weekends at Louisville Motor Speedway and at Sportstrom.
And this song's about Louisville Speedway, but I mean, you could take it for any racetrack in the country, really. I mean, pretty much. It's just the way it is. I mean,
well, it's like it could be Louisville Speedway, but he could change the words. We were there every Sunday night, and that's when I was at Glasgow every Sunday night. I mean, when Glasgow shut down, it left a big hole in the city of Glasgow, and in the Kentucky dirt racing community, because the Battle of the Bluegrass Series, which is coming back.
Yeah.
Battle of the Bluegrass Series is coming back in a moderate form, but they are coming back. So the name's still alive, and we talk about keeping the names alive and keeping racetracks alive. When Glasgow shut down, it put such a damper on dirt racing community, and then it still carried over, because about 5 to 10 years later, Bluegrass Speedway shut down. And when Bluegrass Speedway shut down, I liked the facility was nice. I mean, Spanky worked there. Hell, our buddy Richie was even a tech man there one time. So, I miss Bluegrass Speedway because I miss the Northern All-Star late models. I seen Tony Stewart and Steve Barnett have a slaughter fest there one time. So, and I went quite a bit. But you don't want to see any place shut down. And when Bluegrass and Bardstown shut down, that put a big burden on Central Kentucky. And you had Ponderosa, Lake Cumberland, and Rockcastle, and Richmond, and forever, those places never really quite worked together. And still to this day, they kind of schedule on top of each other and everything. So, that song can it can relate to racetracks all over the country. I mean, you had Campbellsville Raceway, which is right there in that same area. I mean, that little triangle took a beating. Right? And when you speak of Campbellsville, Kentucky, I mean, there's not many towns, cities in America that produce race car drivers like Campbellsville, Kentucky.
Right. Yeah.
So it's really sad when when these places just close up shop. So and that's how that that song, it's one of those things that you really, really, like, you don't take things for granted. Like when you're living in the moment, you're living in the moment. I'm going to the racetrack. I love it. Oh God, I hate this place. I love this place. I hate this place. But you just don't realize what when it's gone.
What you have, you don't realize what you got. Yeah. I mean,
So I've been to places that, I had some people up at Florence. They were bitching, a couple of years ago when it's at the North South 100. It rubbered up. They're throwing a bitch fit. I paid $50 and it's rubber, blah, blah, blah. I said, man, we have a crown jewel right here in the state of Kentucky. This is a crown jewel race. It pays $50,000 to win.
Yeah. Drivers
from all over the country. This place, it brings in people from all over the country. And what do you sit here bitching about it for?
Yeah.
Did it not go your way or what you like? Yeah, nobody wants it to rubber up. You think Josh King was like, Yep, I'm just going to put this much amount of water on the track because I want it to suck.
I want the rubber up and be right on the bottom.
Yeah, I want this race to suck so bad. No, he didn't want that to happen. So, guys, just as we're coming into a new year, one thing I'm going to ask you guys, because we need to do this too, Kurt.
Yeah.
But just be better race fans because there's so much negativity at the racetrack, and we don't need all that. I mean, hell, the racers and everybody else do enough of it. So
yeah,
we don't need any negativity. Let's be positive this year.
Not anymore. If they rubber up or something, we just look at it and say, well, it was good up till then.
Yeah. Well, and my buddy Richie, I tell him all the time, when he says, well, the track rubbered up, it sucked. I say, yeah, it's like going to a pavement race. You know, he loves pavement super late miles. But blah, 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 he's already killed me. I'm like, well, I'm just being serious.
Pavement race, they start that way and end that way.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, at least on dirt. I mean, we had some passes before it got rubbered up. But no, I just pick on him all the time though.
Yeah.
But he is going the other way. He's starting to get to where he's really enjoying the dirt racing.
Yeah.
But hell, where he lives, he better.
Yeah.
Tonight he's got to drive everywhere. So.
Yeah.
But that's it. That's what we're going to talk about this week. We're about to get into the interview with Jeff Ward. It's a really fascinating interview. It's really hits the home. I think this interview is going to hit the home with a lot of people, just in not only racing, but just in life in general.
Yeah.
So please enjoy the interview with Jeff Ward. It's time for the Trading Sliders Deep Dives presented by Kentucky Clutch and Performance. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. On this week's episode of Deep Dives, Jeff Ward. What's going on, my man?
Not too much, man. Glad to be here, and got the guitar here, ready to play a tune or two, and just hang out.
Yeah, see, we've been teasing this since we started the show. We've been talking about we're going to do an Old Racetrack segment, and Kurt and I, we've got a bunch of things planned for this. So we've been working. How are we going to figure this in? How are we going to work this out? So finally I said, I got a great idea. How about the guy that wrote the song that's inspiring the segment? Let's get him on and let's talk to him about it before we do the segment for everybody else. So,
right.
What's the backstory behind the Old Racetrack? Because I grew up at Louisville Speedway, and evidently you did too. So what's the backstory to the song?
It's a pretty funny story, really. Me and my cousin Brent went down to Nashville. First time I'd ever been there, which is crazy since I grew up playing music. But that's probably a couple years ago, and we got down there and started writing, and we started talking about Louisville and all that, and it's kind of a funny story. We started talking. I heard you and Ricky were actually talking about kids racing around the trees, racing figure eight. So me and Brent got to talking about that, and there was this kid, Jeff Bissinger. You probably know him from around Sports Drone.
Yeah, I know Jeff.
Yeah.
Anyway, Jeff would pick on Brent, and man, he picked on him for weeks. And finally, Brent had enough of it, and he pushed Jeff up against this brick wall, or concrete wall, and so Brent hauled back, went to hit him, and Jeff ducked. Brent missed, hit the wall, and man, it wasn't an ordinary concrete wall. It's one of those stucco walls that pretty much had spikes.
Oh yeah.
Tore his fist up, man. But me and Brent got to talking about that, and just outer limits, and how you would hear "We Will Rock You," and all his kids would haul tail all the way back to the other side, or I'd stick my head out at outer limits every once in a while, and I would hear the sportsmen's, and that's how I knew the next race was going to be.
Yeah, once you heard the loud cars, the figure eight cars are coming up next. I grew up at Louisville Speedway, and we grew up at Sports Drome in Louisville, and when Louisville shut down, there was a lot of us that were just totally upset. And I know you started racing and at that time, but you know, one thing that kind of stuck with me with the song is, you know, the first time I heard. Well, first let me back up. Funny way, the way I heard this song was, I was in the shop working, and Raymond Johnson comes in, and Raymond's like, dog, come here, hey dog, come. I'm like, Jesus Christ, what, Raymond? And he goes, hey man, you gotta hear this song. So Raymond, played it for me. Of course, Raymond's got a flip phone that he's playing off his he's got the oldest phone ever. So I was like, Raymond, what's the name of the damn song? So I looked it up and we listened to it, and I almost started crying. Like, it brought me to an emotional state where I was like, damn.
Yeah.
Like, that's my childhood.
I was going to tell you something. I was going to tell you something too. This is funny. Not funny really, but my mom. I let my mom listen to the song last night, and she plays music a lot, and stuff too. Yeah. And she actually listened to it, and she went to the races with me and my dad every single time we went, but she didn't care if there were race cars on the track or not. She just went because we was there. But she actually started crying on your song last night, and she goes, tell him I like the song until I started crying. But she was just kidding.
Man, I've had some people say they get sad about it.
She really did like it though. Yeah.
That's good. Some people get sad, and then I've had people that it takes them down memory lane and they love it. But I actually got a text, or he messaged me on Facebook, Raymond did. Yeah. He's like, keep it up, young man. Love the song. And I'm like, I wonder if he even realizes I'm like 40 years old. Yeah. He's talking to me like I was a 17-year-old kid.
Well, Raymond ain't that young anymore.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, Raymond is he's not a young kid anymore.
No, he's like me.
He always tells me all the time, hey, dog, I remember I changed your diapers, dog. I'm like, I'm damn near 50, Raymond.
Yeah.
So how old is your ass? But I even messaged you when I first heard the song. I was like, damn, man, that took me down memory lane, because it's like, that's my childhood. That's what we did. I went to the racetrack, and that's just, that song, it's just so wholesome and so. And when Kurt and I talked about doing this show, I said, we're going to do an Old Racetrack segment. I said, I don't know if I can get the copyrights, or I don't know how any of this shit works, but I'm gonna play that song, even if he tells me not to. I said, so I was glad you said, no, that's all right. So,
man, we got 10.5 thousand views so far on Facebook. So, I mean, if you compute that into streams, we've made about $6. So if you stole a copyright, you might make $3 off of it.
Yeah.
But if you made $6, $2 of it's mine. I promise you.
Yeah.
Because we listened to the hell out of that song.
Yeah.
Well, the outreach has been unbelievable, and I was telling Brent when we first released it, I said, man, I think this thing's gonna do pretty good. It was when we released that video.
Yeah.
With the still pictures and all that.
Right. Yeah.
And
which is still like my childhood. Like I got some of those pictures still hanging up in my office back there. The same way.
Well, we were sitting there one night just having a couple of beers. We put that whole video together, and he helped me select the pictures. So I gotta give a big shout out to Brent Skaggs, my cousin, and we put that on YouTube, and I won't forget this. Tony Conway wrote on there, and he said, "Man, love the video. This is Tony 54," and I'm like, man, I didn't get a still picture of Tony in there. The Iceman.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of guys I couldn't get in there that that were heroes to me out there. So it's hard to cram it all in a 3-minute song, but I think we got, a lot of guys that everybody watched over there throughout the years.
Well, I think you did it about as perfect as you could, really. Like that song is, and for the people that don't understand, it's the Old Racetrack song. I know most people in our area know it. But if you don't, he's going to play it for us here in a little bit. And then we're going to put a link to it.
And a lot of the names you hear in the song, those guys were the guys that were running back then a lot of those guys are still running. Yeah. But, they were top dogs back then. A lot of them were, so it's really cool to.
And one other thing, a lot of people don't know this, so we're going to get into this story, but, you raced Louisville Speedway. You were 16 years old the year the track closed down, and I was racing at the same time. I wasn't running figure eight until the end of the year. But you want to tell everybody about your first figure eight race, or you want me to tell them about it?
Well, it wasn't my first figure eight race, but the biggest thing that happened to me that season, and I'm still trying to find the VHS to it, but I have no clue where it's at.
I think I got a copy of this.
Oh my goodness!
And so I'll look. I think I might have a copy of this.
I don't know if I want to see it again, but I want to own it.
Yeah.
But anyway, so. This happened. My grandpa Otto Skaggs was my mechanic, and going into this night, he wasn't there. Like the previous week, Buck had come off the track and he was overheating, and I think Peppa tried to take that radiator cap off or something, but he got scalded real bad. Anyway, that night my grandpa wasn't there, and my uncle Zeke, he'd been telling me, you can't let these guys pick on you. You gotta stick it to them. 16-year-old kid, man, I was driving a piece of junk.
Yeah.
And so the end of the race, me and Sam Padilla are battling for like 30th place. Yeah. And if Peppa would have been there, he would have told me, go out there, get your $100, take one lap, bring it in, because you ain't got about 5 gallons in there anyway. So that's all he would put in the tank. So come down to the wire, crossing the flag, and I remember Sam come down on me to cut my right front, and I'm thinking, man, that's my right front. That's that's a $100 tire back then, or one of them Comanches or whatever it was.
Uh-huh.
And so I just floored it, and I hit him in the tail end. This is after the finish, and
you was gonna show him, wasn't you?
I didn't know the man that was sitting in that seat, but, and how big he was. But I soon found out. So I pull up in the line. I'm waiting to go in the pits, and he'd done a donut, come back around the front stretch, and he's coming head on towards me, wide open. I look up last second, and I stand on that brake, and this pow, whole front end lifts up. He done hit me head on there.
Yes. Head on crash by Suicide Sam Padilla.
My car flies back, hits into Ricky Hine, like tears the front end out of 2 other cars, I think. I don't remember who it was, but man, I was shook up, but I didn't get hurt.
Yeah.
I didn't get hurt at all. You figure it would have broke my foot or something, but
Yeah.
But next thing I know, my Uncle Zeke, or it might have been Buck, I don't remember, I have to look at the video, but one of them pulls me out of the car, and then my dad always likes to tell a story that he ran over and put his hands around Sam's throat while he was still sitting in the car, shaking his throat. He said he couldn't even get his hands, halfway around his throat.
What was I saying? If he got it all the way around, he may have had it around his wrist.
Yeah.
Sam Padilla's head is about the size of all 3 of ours.
Yeah.
So I can't not tell a story without telling this part. We went in the competition office. At first, it's my dad. I think Zeke or Buck might have been in there. And we're sitting there with the competition official. And it's a little office. It's, about the size of this room. Okay. And so everybody leaves. It's just me and Sam sitting there. They say, we'll be back in a minute. So I'm sitting there from me to you, from Sam Padilla, 16-year-old kid. He weighed 350 pounds.
Yeah, he was the bouncer at the local nightclub.
Yeah.
And anyway, he was nice after that. I mean, we took. They said he had to repair my car, and that we were both suspended for 2 weeks. So he fixed my car back, and I think me and one of my buddies, we even all went out for beers since then. It was years later, but and just laughed about it.
Yeah, it's funny because like Kurt and I talk about that all the time. Like, kids race nowadays and they fight, and it's a 3 or 4 week deal because of social media and somebody's girlfriend's yelling at somebody on Facebook, tagging them in it. And back then, it was okay. You get in a fight, it sucked, but we'll talk about it. It's okay. It goes on to the next. And that's just kind of the way that whole song is. Like, that whole song is just childhood. My favorite line was, at the beginning, it's like, we were stomping our feet to Queen. Yeah. And when I heard that, I was like, oh, my God.
Yeah.
Like, this... And then I didn't even realize it was you. Like, damn, the guy that's singing this song, I've known him from the racetrack, and we live 5 minutes from each other.
Yeah.
So it's crazy how it all works out, So the racetrack's been closed down, 25 years now? Yeah. 25 years. So
man, it doesn't seem like it, does it?
No, I don't. No. It don't. But it's just, it's crazy how it all works out. And you talk about your Papa Auto Skags. My uncle and my dad and my whole family raced, and you're from a racing family, and your grandpa he used to help my uncle out quite a bit in parts and stuff. My my uncle Wayne, he ran around with Buck Skags quite a bit and stuff. A bunch of old Fairdale boys. Yeah. So. It's kind of funny. It comes full circle. I reached out to you, said, man, I love the song. And then, we got you on the show. Because our podcast we cover everything. It's a racing podcast, but it's most importantly, it's about life. That was our life, growing up at the racetrack.
Yeah. We raced at the Drome, so we never got to go on Saturday nights, but we'd work all week to get our car done Thursday night so we could be over for Friday night.
Yeah.
just to go watch,
all the years that I went there, I don't think I ever went on a Saturday night, which looking back, I regret that because I could have had 2 nights of racing all the years. But
you're just Skags, though. You're a figure 8 kid.
Yeah.
You're not going to go over on no Saturday night.
Through and through, man.
Why you don't watch late models, man? I'm a figure 8 kid.
Yeah.
But I feel like it was our duty to write a song and try to give back everything that the track gave us. I mean, that was my home on Friday nights from the time I was 5 years old until 16 when it closed down in 2001. So
wait, you can see those pictures that you put on. It's in the video that you have of it. That it's a lot of people's home on Friday night.
Yeah.
Back then, I mean, it was every Friday night. It was packed like that.
Well, I'll tell you something really funny. Not only like Friday night, like I remember one time it was probably 95, 96, and I was waiting for my dad to get home. They were racing Thursday Night Thunder at Louisville Speedway, the sprint cars, and my dad's working late, and I'm like, I gotta get to the racetrack. So I lived on Blue Lick Road at the time, and I walked from Blue Lick to the racetrack, which is probably 5 miles. I'm walking down the Iron Loop, oncoming traffic. I get to the racetrack, I realize, you know what? I don't even have no damn money to get in this place. So I'm thinking, am I gonna go around back and jump the fence, or so I go to to the competition office, the same one you was talking about, and Leanne Bertries was working the front building, and I walk in, I said, and Leanne, she said, yeah, I said, I'm gonna have to bring you money Friday tomorrow. She's like, what? I was like, I was so excited to go over here and watch the damn sprint cars. I don't have a dime to my name. So Leanne's like, all right. So this is funny, funny story about Leanne. She comes in and finds me about an hour after being there. And she says, come here. And I'm thinking, damn, somebody done found out I'm going to get kicked out, She goes, well, let's go down to the session and get you something to eat if you ain't got any money on you. Then my dad showed up and I took care of it. But it's just stuff like that people don't realize. I was probably 14, 15 years old over there one night. And it was before the first crash bin truck race. And I swept the intersection. The whole intersection, I swept it with a push broom.
Yeah.
Over there, like on a Tuesday night. I was over there with Frank Kibble and Richie Alexander, and I swept the whole damn racetrack with a push broom. And it's just stuff like that. It's sad that kids in our area don't get to experience that.
Well, they used to. I mean, my first concert was a Trace Atkins concert there. I mean, they filled the whole infield.
Oh yeah.
I mean, where can you go now where you drive a mile away and you got a big concert? So
I went and seen Joe
Monster
Nichols.
trucks. And,
Well, Garth Brooks played there.
Yeah, Garth Brooks, seen him there.
Where did your love for music start?
Well, I started playing around the time I started racing. I remember that was kind of the two things that were consuming my life at the time. I was trying to help Peppa put the figure eight car together. Of course, I was driving Buck's hand-me-down car, and there wasn't much to do on it. But yeah, music kind of started from high school. I started writing and just start picking up guitar about the same time. I mean, there's really no fascinating story to it. I just started learning guitar and putting words with songs.
See, I thought he was gonna be like, yeah, man, this whole life I've had this dream. He's like, no, man, I just picked up a guitar.
No, my dream was going to NASCAR. Honestly, when I was 12 years old, I heard Ricky talking a lot about karts, and I know I guess Caden's real big into that. Yeah. But I grew up racing karts. I was in a go-kart since I was 6. I raced at a Sportstrome Falls City Kart Club.
Oh yeah.
On the small track, right? In the infield.
Well, I raced both.
Did you? Okay, because I started out on there. They did both.
Well, this is kind of a cool story. Chuck Barnes had a go-kart for sale, which was Chucky's, the one that he had kind of retired and moved on to. I guess it's unlimited class.
Yeah.
So we bought that go-kart from Chuck Barnes for about $1,200, and went out there and won the first 2 heats and features in it, I believe. And so they said, this kid he ain't 12 years old. We want to see a birth certificate. So me and my dad's like, you know what? We'll just move up, even though I really was 12 years old. And we moved up and started getting our butt kicked by Jeremy Larison and Chris Willis.
Yeah.
I think were the guys racing the bigger track.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I started out in karts before I went to race figure eight at Louisville, and that was kind of my dream, was to race.
You're just gonna race for a living. That's what we've all gonna do.
That's what we all dreamed about. Yeah.
That's what I was gonna do. I was gonna race for. I had it planned out. I was gonna have like 5 cars and all this stuff. And then I realized, holy shit, this is expensive, and I'm working around the clock.
My mom and dad got divorced, and Peppa got older, and that dream was gone at that point.
Yeah.
Well,
life happens. That's the way.
That's just the way it goes around, man. Yeah, that's just the way it works. But everything happens for a reason, and now you've got this great song. Like I said, you're not making no money off of it yet. Our goal is to hopefully get you playing some live music, and hell, maybe I kind of know Mike Gibson a little bit. Maybe I can pull something and get you. Maybe you can get a gig at the Sportstrome one night and play the song.
Man, I messaged Sportstrome when they had that old timer race for the Fords.
Yeah.
And I had just recorded this song, and I said, "Hey guys, my Uncle Buck and Zeke's racing in this thing, and Raymond was out there, and I think Tony Anderson was too. But I was like, why don't y'all play this song before they go out?" And I had a couple of us were up in the stands, and I guess they couldn't get to it. But I was like, man, that would have been cool.
Yeah, it would have. That would have been. That'd have been real cool. So I'll see what I can do on that. I may have a little bit of pull there. So
that'd be cool. Well, it's kind of. It could be about Sportstrome, I guess, too, because a lot of the guys that raced at Louisville.
Oh yeah,
raced over too.
Well, that's one thing I was going to say.
This relates to a lot of racetracks, not just there. I mean, this is going to relate to other people at their own racetrack too. I mean, Yeah,
we got people that listen all over the country, which we're still shocked. We don't know why. I mean, you see our studio. This is it. We're at a kitchen table watching a dirt race on TV.
Hey, it's perfect, man.
Yeah. So I don't know why people listen, but everybody that does, they they've had a racetrack that closed down. You can change the names, but you can't change the emotion in the song.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So they might not have been stomping their feet to Queen, but they were there at their racetrack every Friday or Saturday night. So this is going to relate to people all across the country. Honestly,
it just might not have got out that far yet. You know what I mean? That's kind of what we're thinking.
Because when I hear it, I say, because I was thinking, I told Kurt, I said, because I listened to, once I heard that song, I started listening to other music, and I'm a big music guy. But I like everything. I like rap. I like rock. I like everything. But there's 4 or 5 of your songs that I really, really that hit home to me. And I'm just like, damn, like.
And we haven't heard all of them. We've just heard what you got on YouTube, pretty much,
So, like that song, 1995. Like when I hear that song, I'm thinking, Jesus Christ, that's my life. Like,
I appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
That 1995, that kind of stems from the same mindset where we wrote the Old Racetrack. It's just, just in general, just missing the 90s.
Yeah. You're kind of like me. You're a pretty sentimental guy.
Yeah. I liked it when it was simpler.
Yeah.
I think I've reached the age where I can appreciate the way it used to be.
Right. Yeah.
Well, you only get one chance, and when I heard that song for the first time, I'm like, this kid's gonna make all kinds of, like, I'm Raymond now.
Yeah.
Hey, keep it up, kid. I'm like, this kid's gonna make all kinds of money because he's got talent out of this world. There's 3 or 4 songs that's really, really good, and then the one I live right here where you're writing the song about watching trains go by, and I listen to that song talking about going through the S curve where hell I've damn near wrecked 100 times.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
a true story.
Yeah.
Everything in that song's true.
Yeah.
My uncle really did have a bad wreck over there. He hit that when you're looking towards South Park Country Club. He hit that brick barricade there head on one night. He walked out of it.
Yeah. So you want to play the Old Racetrack a little bit? You want to jump into it, and then we'll get into some more stories and talk about Grandpa.
Yeah, we'll play it. Check the old guitar's been in and out of the code a little bit here, so we're gonna do a quick tune.
Yeah. Yeah, mine. Anytime it sets in and out of the cold, you gotta go back through it.
Yeah, so like I said, this one's done pretty good for us. Got a lot of views on Facebook, and like you said, hopefully it keeps going. And really, my thing these days, I just wish one of these big stars in Nashville would pick up one of my songs and record it.
Right. Yeah.
Like a couple $1,000 will make me happy. But
Yeah.
the main thing is that everybody out there got something out of this song, and it gave them some nostalgia, even if just for 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's like I said, it touches home, and for people who haven't heard it, when you're about to hear it right now, it's going to touch home. Trust me.
Yeah.
We were there every Friday night when we were kids. We would sing along to We Will Rock You as they pulled out the pits. Did you pull for Blackwell or Harmon? Did you go just to see some carnage? I still smile every time that I look back on it at the old racetrack. We were wild and free down at the speedway. We were stomping our feet to Queen, and we knew it would come to an end. Those are memories we can't forget of the old racetrack. We all had our favorites. Raymond Johnson, Skaggs, or Crane, or Buddy Vertrix. The way they crossed that figure 8, shade tree mechanics. They were just good old boys in a small town. Well, it wasn't about the money, it was all about the crowd at the old racetrack. We were wild and free down at the speedway. We were stomping our feet to Queen, and we knew it would come to an end. Those are memories we can't forget of the old racetrack. When they tore it down, they took a part of me too. I can still hear the sounds when I drive down Outer Loop of the old racetrack. We were wild and free at Louisville Motor Speedway. We were stomping our feet to Queen, and we knew it would come to an end. But those are memories we can't forget of the old racetrack. The old racetrack.
Thank you.
All right, man. Thank you. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
and you know
Yeah.
what's really funny about that whole thing is right there at the end we got a train horn going off in the background.
Yeah.
And it's just you, because that's our area that we live in. That's what we do.
I heard that.
Yeah, we
cool.
Yeah, so we couldn't plan it out any better way. You know, like we're sitting there, he's jamming down here in the kitchen, you know, throwing down, and then all of a sudden you get in the background.
Yeah,
That's
almost
just kind of
forgot
our
the words.
life.
Couldn't remember if I was singing "Watching Trains Go By" or "Old Racetrack."
Well, you could have segued right into it. That's the way we do, man.
You could have done a little melody there. It would have worked out all right.
Yeah. So every time I hear that song, man, it just, I got goosebumps.
Yeah.
Like it's and I don't know if it's just because we grew up there, but like I said, people can relate to that. Your family, you know, the Skaggs family, it's they did it like my family did, on a shoestring budget, to say the least. And my dad told me one time that Buck Skaggs probably got more out of a race car than anybody that he's ever seen with his equipment. And it's just the way racing was then, and it's so different now. Elaborate on that. How much of a struggle was it on the family? Because I know what it cost. I know how much it was on my family. You know, it cost my dad a marriage. So, you know, I understand. You know, how hard was it on the Skaggs family?
I think, mainly between Buck, Zeke, and my grandpa, I think they mostly got along, but there were a lot of times where they didn't. I mean, put it simply. But I think back then, you know, you could put $500 into a Monte Carlo in like '89. I think Buck won 7 features. And I feel like it was a lot more based on talent. If you could wheel a piece of junk around there, and then, you know, down the road a little ways, guys started putting big bucks in it. You know. I think Calvin, Raymond, they start getting some real money into it and kicking everybody's butt.
Yeah, well, what's really funny, because I was going to segue into this. I remember when Buck got his opportunity to drive for Dennis Knoll, and you know, I was thinking he's gonna set the world on fire. And I think Buck was just so used to not having good stuff that it took him about a year to figure it out. You know, driving stuff that really worked.
Oh yeah,
he was overdriving the car, wasn't letting the car do the work.
Like, hey, there's no play in the steering wheel.
Yeah.
There's something wrong here. That's the way our cars used to be.
Yeah, that was a cool car. It was the American flag one. I think he won 1 feature. But see, that, back to your point, that caused some grief in the family, because he kind of, I think Pepaw kind of felt like he left him and went to Dennis Snow.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's kind of like nowadays on a NASCAR team or something. You want to go where the money is and where the fast car is. But I think they repatched things up. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Buck came back.
Yeah, I think he did there right at the end. Right when Louisville closed, Buck was driving back, you know, for the family.
Yeah.
And Zeke, like I said, Zeke's always, you know, and he went on and, you know, raced for Murray Baird. He had a pretty good career. I mean, it's so much work, and people don't realize what goes into it on a short track level. Kurt and I do, because we've done it our whole life.
Yeah, week to week, you know.
I mean, I got a car in the shop right now that I was in the garage at midnight last night.
You guys were kind of like us. You had 3 cars or so to work on, so you tore 2 of them up during the week. You was working your butt off all week long to try to get both cars back together, you know, and then still had to do all the maintenance on the other one at the same time. So I mean, it's just a
man. I remember, you know, I was just starting to learn how to work on cars. Pep-Paw was getting older. And I say Pep-Paw, it probably sounds childish.
No.
Let's talk about Otto.
Yeah.
But anyways, one day he had me go out there and I was working on the flywheel of the car. It wouldn't turn over. It was making that clanking noise. So we went out there one night, and I was on the grid, and they was playing the national anthem. I'm the only car that's running. And the official comes over and says, "Cut it off, bud." I'm like, "I can't. It won't start back up."
Yeah.
And I was sitting there so embarrassed. I could hear, the national anthem going off. I'm like, I'm not get down the seat. And but that's just, back to what you were saying. I had a piece of junk that was handed down. I had to go out there and try to do something with it, and basically go out there and get $100 and pull back in.
Yeah. Wouldn't have any other way though, would you?
Which $100 was, I'd get probably 60 of it. Pep-Paw would take 40. Shoot, I was taking girls out at 16 years old.
Yeah, he was.
Here's
$60 was a lot.
Here's a story for you though. As you talk about that, we blew a motor up in a heat race one night, and I loaded the car on the trailer, and we sat there for like 3 more heat races. Just sat there, and we was like, "Man, we got another motor sitting at home in the garage," and we only live 2 miles from the drome. So we all run home real quick, changed the motor, was back in like an hour and a half, got ready to come back. So I started the car to put it on the trailer and broke the starter nose off of it, but the car started. So I loaded it on the trailer, let it run all the way to the racetrack, pulled it off at the trailer. We pulled in and pulled off right at the pit gate, and I loaded and I had to go straight on the racetrack. Didn't get set timing on it or nothing, but that's kind of the stories like that, when you're not running the best parts.
Yeah, just roughing it, man. Yeah. Anything you got to do to race.
Yeah.
Well, the funny thing is, you said, because Louisville paid $100 to start. Kurt was racing at the Sportsdrome, and Sportsdrome paid like $20 to start. Yeah. So you had to run good. But one thing, you've done a couple of music videos in like 1995. When I watched that, you're riding around Fairdale, and it's like where I go to eat lunch every day. And I drive past the grocery store. The used to be IGA, then Save a Lot, and I think it was actually Winn-Dixie at one time, wasn't it? I think it was. But I drive past all that, and I hear your music, and I relate to it. And one thing that I relate to, is you say Pap-Paw, and it sounds childish. I say Pap-Paw. My grandpa's gone too, and everything I say is, "Hey, my Pap-Paw pucket, my Pap-Paw."
Yeah.
A lot of your songs, you include Grandpa in it. Pap-Paw.
Yeah, for sure.
Otto. How much of an influence was he? Because I can tell by listening to your music.
Yeah, not just racing wise either.
It's not racing wise. That was talk about going fishing, and you talking about taking his old car and going down to the farm in Hodgenville. So how exactly did he affect your life?
Earlier when you asked that, I probably should have said something about that. He taught me probably the first chord on guitar, and he got one of his fingers. He got his middle finger on his left hand. He got cut off in a wrecker. I guess the cable come down and cut that finger off. So he couldn't play a full D chord, and so he was trying. I remember he was trying to show me how to play that without a finger. But just things like that stick out in my mind that I learned a lot from him. And when I first started writing, a lot of that was through my influence with him. My parents got divorced. Pep-Paw, I lived with him for several years, and he was. I don't want to say if my dad was there, but he was also kind of the father figure on this side. I had 2 father figures in a way, and a grandpa as well, all in one. So he's a big influence.
Yeah, well, I can tell because of your music, and like I said, the song "Watching Trains Go By," man. Every time I listen to that, I'm just like, man, because I see it every day. I see the trains back up, and I just kind of start laughing. I'm like, damn, like he couldn't write that song, and he just like. Louisville Motor Speedway, the Old Racetrack. Like, do you think maybe, because I know you love music, but you think maybe there's a chance that you can be a songwriter for someone, down the road? I mean, where do you see the music industry going? Because I can tell you do it because you love it. Mm-hmm. And once you love it, that's like the same reason why we do this podcast. Yeah. When people tell us all the time, man, you guys are really funny, you're really real. I'm like, dumbass, that's us going down the road. We got microphones in front of us now, but we're saying the same shit we always say. So when it's real, when it's authentic, so where do you want music to go? Or are you just happy where it's at right now?
I just songwrite for a hobby. Like I said, just getting this out and having a lot of reactions from it and people that appreciated it. That's the main thing. Maybe when I was 25 years old, I made a push to try to beat something with it, but I would have had to move to Nashville. There would have been a lot to it, but Yeah, this song right now for fun. If I had some artists pick it up and cut some of them, I think that'd be awesome. But
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, that's
You never know either, man. So I hear it, it might,
Well, I don't love the direction of country music, honestly, right now.
I like your country music.
I feel like it's going towards pop.
Your country music's way better than what's on the radio.
So I kind of shoot myself in the foot when I start talking about that, because if you want to make it, you gotta really receive that and probably start trying to make that kind of music.
Yeah. I mean, I like what's
I'm
on
not
the
gonna
radio
do it.
now too, but that's what I grew up on, is stuff like what you play, and I'm sure you listen. I'm sure if you was with your grandpa, you listen to older country a lot too.
Hank Williams Sr.
Yeah, all that stuff. Yeah.
David Allen Coe.
Yeah.
Old stuff.
Yeah.
Well, here's what I'm gonna say about that, because I coached basketball, and just do you. So you don't change you for the industry. Don't change. Just do you for you. And if it's meant to be, it's gonna happen. Somebody's gonna pick up and say, "Hey, I like this," because what's new is old, and what's old is new again.
Yeah.
It just keeps coming in circle. In life in general, in basketball, in racing. I mean, hell, 20 years ago we started running stiff race cars, stiff in the front, soft in the back, and then there for a while everybody started going to a stiff right rear on the oval to make the car turn. And then they got away from it.
Yeah.
Now people are running 1,000-pound springs on the right rear and a 300-pound spring on the right front. So just do you. If you just do you, I promise you it'll work out, because somebody's going to hear it and somebody's going to be like, man, that's pretty damn cool. Man, it's like us. We stumbled onto it, and hell, I didn't know you had 40 songs out, 50 songs. I looked on YouTube, I'm like, damn, he's got all kinds of songs out. But that song, I Only Get One Chance. Where did that stem from? Because that's another song that really hits home. It kind of seems like you were kind of talking about maybe your music. Just, I get one chance, so here it is.
Actually, I went on a trip to Montana, and then after that, well, I got divorced. I mean, we ain't gonna get into that, but that was a blessing, actually. But
honestly, when that happens, most of the time it kind of is.
Anyway, I told myself, man, I want to climb a mountain. I started training for it, and I climbed Mount St. Helens out in Oregon.
Oh, yeah.
And so that song is actually about that whole journey I went on through that. You only get one chance to do, something while you're here that I feel like means something. Whether that's raising your family, being a good father, going out and winning some races. I just feel like you get one chance to shine, and then you might look up and it's gone. So it's kind of a cliche topic, but I don't think we don't always think about it enough.
Yeah. Well, we kind of think that way because we don't let grass grow under our feet.
No.
We run all the time doing stuff. We ain't got the money to do that. But we do together. So
yeah, that's Kurt and I.
Luckily, my wife and his wife gets along good, and we can hit the road and go, and it costs us half the money to do everything we do. So
yeah, Kurt and I will. I mean, we're the type of people that I'll call Flash like, "Hey, you want to go to the racetrack?" He's like, "Sure." Where are we going? I'm like, "Missouri." He's like, "When?" I'm like, 30 minutes from now. So, and we've taken vacations like that. Like we went to a race at Talladega, Alabama, and we had a major ice storm, a state of emergency. So we ended up in New Orleans for the weekend because we were in Alabama, and we had to keep going south. We got to Panama City, and it was colder than hell. We was like, screw this. We haven't been to New Orleans. We're going to go check out New Orleans, come back up through Mississippi, come home. So we kind of live life by you only get one chance. Yeah.
Well, I got to give a shout out to my buddy Mike because we have a tradition. He's my race travel buddy. We go to a 3-hour. We've been going there for, it's probably been 12, 14, 15 years in a row. And we also try to do the 90-minute figure eight.
Yeah.
Every year, too. We go down there and go karting and kick each other's butt.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I can't tell you how many times. It's shut down now, but the old post road karting place, it was a little high bank track. It was slick track indoors.
Yeah.
I mean, you used to race for 2 hours for $20 armband. And
that sounds fun.
Y'all, it was so much fun. But I ended up talking to the cat there that one time we raced for like 6 hours. I gave the dude an extra $20. We run out. Like, he left us in the building. There's like 6 of us. And it's probably why they're closed down now, honestly. But now looking back on it, it probably wasn't the brightest idea. But so we get wrecking, and I even took their go-karts apart and put tie rod ends on them. And then we'd run out of gas. I'd go over to the gas pumps. This dude was over there.
Just the carburetors.
Yeah. This dude's over there just chilling like, bro, I'm ready to get out of here. So I probably just buy his weed money for the night or something. You know? Here's $20, man. Let us race all night. Situations like that, man, it's fun. Right? I tell people all the time, families don't race together, stay together, and family. It don't even have to be blood. Like I look at Kurt like a brother. I mean, we've been doing this for so long. Our parents race together, our dads race together, and we race together. And and now we just travel and talk about it. And for some reason, people want to listen to the shit. We don't know. But one thing I want to ask you, because you say you don't play a whole lot of live music, is it something that you're willing to do, or you just kind of just want to write songs now, just to be writing songs, kind of like you are?
Man, to be honest with you, I'm just not a performer. I played with a band. I played with another band called Double Shot with a good buddy of mine. Now he's great. He should probably be in Nashville, but just not my thing. Like just playing that song a few minutes ago, I was a little nervous.
Yeah,
no, yeah.
I shouldn't be.
You got a great voice, though, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
But I just write and put these albums out. Like I said, I want somebody to pick them up and record them.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe somebody with a powerhouse voice that could take some of these songs where I can't take them, and that's the thing, man. I'll play live if the opportunity presents itself, get up and play a few songs, but it's not presenting itself a whole lot. So.
Yeah, well, don't sell yourself short. As a country music fan, you're doing damn good. So just because they haven't came in and like Pure Country hasn't come in and signed you or nothing yet, but so is there anything you want to play off the new album or anything before we're done? Or?
So you want to hear Watching Trains Go By, right?
Yeah,
we might as well since we got trains going by.
We might have another one. Who knows?
Yeah, there's well, hold on a second. It's been about 12 minutes. A damn good chance we're gonna have another one. About every 15 minutes they come by.
We might have perfect timing here.
Yeah.
Grandpa used to take me down to the railroad tracks by the brickyards where they trespass on their old trail bikes. We count boxcars sitting down by the big smokestacks. I miss that man watching trains go by. That lonesome whistle's like a long lost memory. Just like my old friend is still here next to me. I take these same roads through this town, but it hits me like a locomotive that he ain't still around. And all of those good times watching trains go by. He'd take me down to the Jefferson and Bullitt County line, through the S-turns, where an uncle of mine nearly lost his life, by the covered bridge, where the engineers take their sweet time, and they don't care if cars are lined up for a country mile. That lonesome whistle's like a long lost memory. Just like my old friend is still here next to me. I take these same roads through this town, but it hits me like a locomotive that he ain't still around. And all of those good times watching trains go by. Lonesome memory, like an old friend of mine, watching trains go by.
See, ladies and gentlemen, Jeff Ward right there. Like I said, that song is wrote about his grandpa, or his papa as he calls him, Otto Skaggs. It's a song that hits home to me. Like I said, not that my grandpa and I sit here and watch trains go by, but I would go down to his house every summer, and the same thing. I would go out and we'd work on lawnmowers and race cars and stuff, and it's just the same type memory when I hear that song. I'm like, man, it's just.
Hell, I bought my grandpa's house.
Yeah,
I live in it right now. So that's our first garage we started working on race cars in, is behind my house. So it's pretty cool to keep it in the family.
Yeah, it's like I was telling you earlier, that's pretty much a true story. We spent a lot of time down at the brickyards. I don't know if we sit up on the smokestacks and just watch the trains.
Yeah.
But the part about the S-turns and, obviously the Bullet Jefferson lines that's right here next to us.
Yeah.
Well, I promise you, if you sitting on 1020, you watch trains go by because
that's kind of when I was writing it, I was thinking of that. We watch plenty of trains because we're stuck here all day. Yeah. So it's kind of a love-hate relationship.
Yeah, exactly. There's plenty of damn trains going by, and a lot of times they ain't going nowhere. They're sitting in chill mode.
I was coming to Bobby's house a minute ago, and I said, "Hell, here comes a train. I'm gonna go ahead and go to Dollar General first."
Yeah, it's bad. It's gotten worse over the years, I think.
Yeah, but the positive about that means community's doing good. It means the economy's doing good. If our trains are stopping and going, it means Ford's shipping stuff out. So people in our area are working. So.
It's kind of a train town.
Yeah,
that could be a song right there.
Hey, look, that's why one night we'll come together and we're gonna write some racing music. We're gonna. Well, actually, we won't write it. Kurt and I will just tell you what to put down, and then you rearrange it because we don't know how to do none of that shit.
But, hey, there's still a lot to be said. We can do it.
Yeah. But I really appreciate you coming on.
Hey, where can people find your music at?
Everywhere that you download music. It's on Amazon Music, YouTube, Spotify.
I can't figure out how to make that shit work. So that's why we're on Spotify and YouTube, because we're not really into, we don't work for Dell computers, okay?
Oh, jeez. The program I use is $39.99. I definitely hook you up.
Yeah, we don't do none of that, all right?
Yeah.
But
everybody needs to take a chance to look it up, take time to look it up and check out some of his music.
We just had an EP come out. It's got 6 songs on it. So far, it didn't do very good. So, listen at your discretion.
Yeah.
But the one that the Old Racetrack was on was called "Waiting on the Storm." It's got 16 tracks, and I feel like that one probably my best album. So.
Yeah, it was good. I loved it. Like I said,
like I said, we actually do listen to it all the time. We just listened to it less than a week ago.
Well, guys, I'm gonna tell you, if you're a fan of true country music, and even if you're not, check this out, because his music it comes from the heart. You could tell that there's a love for music. He's, like he said, he's made $6 off his biggest song, so he's not getting rich off of it. He's doing it.
He's doing it for the love of it.
He's doing it because he loves doing it. Check him out.
Kind of like us.
Yeah, shit.
Making enough to still be at Dale.
Yeah. I'm making enough to work on race car bodies every night of the week, so I know exactly what you mean. But guys, seriously, check him out. It's Jeff Ward. Like I said, the easiest place I find him is Spotify and YouTube.
Yeah.
You go on YouTube and you can hit "Waiting on the Storm," and he's fortunate and unfortunate in this situation. He's just like us. If you listen to his music, you're not going to have no commercials pop in because there are not enough people listening to it yet. Same way, if you check out our podcast, you're going to listen to the whole damn thing because you're not going to have no pop-up commercials, all right? But we want to go the other way. We want him to get commercials on there, so check him out.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming by. And this has been really fun because when we say we do a podcast on racing, when we do a podcast on life, we're trying to make it where it's about everything. We're interviewing fans. We're interviewing songwriters, performers. We're interviewing just race car drivers, track promoters, announcers. We don't want this to be our cookie cutter show. We want everybody, because you don't understand the effect that you have on people with your music. Especially, like I said, the Old Racetrack song that you and your cousin Brent wrote together. That's gonna hit home. I know you said it's done really good, but I don't think you realize how good it's gonna do, because there's a lot of people around here that hasn't heard it. Because I tell people all the time, just word of mouth, if you've heard a song and you know someone that, because surely to God, half of the city went to Louisville Motor Speedway growing up.
Yeah.
And they can relate to this song, and then maybe from there they can relate to the other songs, because like I said, your vast love for music, you can tell that it's in the music, and to me it's something that's really special. So I really appreciate you coming on the show.
Yeah.
I appreciate that, guys. And, like I said, I just found out about the show when you messaged me the other day, but I've listened to several episodes. I love it. I support it 100% because I love racing. And, thanks for having me. And hopefully people...
They're going to listen. I'll put it to you this way. I really don't ever talk about numbers or anything, but if the 1,400 people that listened to the show last week, if we can get half of you guys just go check out his YouTube page and check the song out, we'll be okay. All right? Yep. Thank you again, once again, for coming on.
Yep. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Jeff.
That was the interview with Fairdale's own Jeff Ward, part of the Skaggs racing family. And what I think is really funny is, he raced himself and, did some go-kart racing. And, I asked him, do you want to tell a story? You want me to tell a story? He only got to run one season because Livermore Speedway closed and his grandpa Otto Skaggs' health started deteriorating, and they didn't go over to the Drome. But he said, he didn't realize who Sam Padilla was, but he found out who he was real quick.
Yeah.
Suicide Sam turned around and hit him head on and had a big crash. And but he said, all is well in the racing world. They all got together, went to dinner, had some beers, and laughed about it. So, that was one of the reasons why I wanted to reach out to him and have him on the show, because that song meant so much to a lot of people in our area. And we kind of were talking. It's like, man, we need to do this segment where we interview a bunch of old guys. And I was like, well, hell, if we're gonna do that, let's at least have the guy on first that put the song out that
kind of got us thinking about it. Yeah,
kind of influenced us to do it. So, a big thank you for Jeff Ward for coming on the show and helping out, being so open, because I know he's kind of a shy person.
Yeah,
and played his guitar, and I was like, damn, it was pretty cool hanging out right here in the studio. The man's got a great voice, and he does a really good job, and I really like his music. And you being a music person, you respect what he was doing. You were sitting here, and it was like, man, because I had no idea how to do any of that shit.
Yeah,
at all. There's no way. I'm not gonna sing. I can't sing worth a lick. I may have a pretty good chance to be a comedian or something, but I ain't gonna do. I can make fun of somebody, but I ain't gonna sing.
Yeah.
No, hell no.
I like to sing solo.
Yeah.
Solo, nobody can hear me.
Yeah. Yeah, that's my kind of singing there. But me, I can't be quiet at all. Shit.
Yeah.
I sing so high. So high that nobody wants to hear it. But, that was I really hope guys, reach out, and especially if you're into country music. Like I said, he has 4 or 5 really, really good songs that I like. He's got plenty of songs on there, so you may like, but the only one chance, you only get one chance, and he's talking about that, and that song. When you listen to that song really hits, because that's kind of the way Kurt and I live our life. We live our life like we're here one time, and we're gonna make the best of it. And that song, it hits home, and so does 1995. That song of his in 1995, I'm just thinking, damn it, man, this cat's the same person.
Yeah.
And
he likes fishing too, so we got to talk about that.
He's a cool dude, man.
Yeah.
He says he's only been to 2 dirt races. He's been to Ponderosa once and Barstown once. So I said,
we're gonna try to fix that.
I said, bro, we're gonna get you to a dirt track. We're gonna get you to some racetracks. He said he's got a buddy of his that goes racing. They go to the 3-hour every year, which I kind of figured, being a figure 8 family. That's kind of what you do. You go to the 3-hour, but. We're going to get him out to the racetrack, and like I said, guys, go check out his music. YouTube. YouTube's where I find most of his stuff, but YouTube, Spotify.
Yeah.
He's just good old country boy that enjoys enjoys writing songs, and hell, he does it for the love, kind of like how we do this podcast. It's just for the love. But coming up this week, we got 2 races that we're going to talk about coming up. I know it's the week before Christmas. For the people in the Louisville area, it's King of the Bluegrass Basketball Week. So not only do I got plenty of race cars to do, not only do we got 3 or 4 interviews we're going to try to get this week with the holidays coming up.
Yeah.
I'm also going to have to figure out a way to swing out to the King of the Bluegrass one night this week.
Yeah.
So if you see Bobby walking around, and I got bags under my eyes. It's probably because I didn't get much sleep.
Yeah.
But
had a busy week.
But as Flash's race car once said on the back of it, I'll get all the sleep I need when I'm dead, man.
Yeah.
So,
Sleep when I'm dead. That's what I had across the back of it.
But this week coming up, two races that's there's some pavement stuff going on down in Florida too. But this is Trading Sliders, and we've done a bunch of pavement talk the last few weeks. So we're paving it out. It's pavement's for getting there. So the only pavement we're going to talk about this week is getting to Millbridge Speedway down in North Carolina for the winter shootout, race number 2. I'm running 600 non-wing micros, restricteds, and go-karts. Last week I seen, 2 weeks ago, winter shootout race number 1. They had 33 non-wing micros.
Man.
So I don't know how many they'll get this week. With it being so close to the shootout. There's a lot of guys because the following weekend is the Tulsa Shootout. Right. So, if anybody don't know what the Tulsa Shootout is,
that's something you need to check out.
Get Flow Racing. If you don't have Flow Racing, I'm gonna have to talk to Michael Rizzi.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to get some kind of.
This time of year is the time of year to have Flow Racing too.
Yeah. Get Flow Racing if you don't have it. Greg messaged me, said, "Man, what's y'all talk about? Y'all watch it all the time?" Greg, I know you listen to the show. Get Flow Racing. Yeah. It's $159 a year, okay? But the Tulsa Shootout is on Flow. And guys, I haven't been there. I really, really want to go. It's my bucket list. 1,400 race cars. Yeah. Slide jobs galore. Count me in. Yeah. Check. But I am going to the Chili Bowl this year, though, Flash. So it's been a few years since I've been to the Chili Bowl. So it's technically the final tune-up for Tulsa. The second race of the weekend, the Santa Shootout. You're looking at me flashing. What the hell is the Santa Shootout? Well, it's essentially the Ice Bowl tune-up, okay? Right. But it's the week before Christmas. Talladega Short Track, one of my favorite racetracks in the country, and I don't really know why. The bleachers suck. Yeah. The parking is always crap. Yeah. But they have race cars and they have good racetracks and they got good racetrack food. Yeah.
And it should be even better this year because they've got a wall around 1 and 2. So those guys won't be just rolling over the bank. They'll be able to get up on the wall and hit the cushion. There'll be a cushion up there now. Well, there'll be a cushion maybe at first part of the Ice Bowl.
Well, last year at the Ice Bowl, the track was actually, I'd say, pretty good all night. Yeah. They got somebody new in charge, and they're reworking that thing. Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're not just, start on Thursday and go. So,
okay. That's cool.
Yeah, no, I seen a guy that's working the racetrack, and he's pretty funny. Old country boy. Looks like he's in his 20s. He's like, I want this to be the Fairbury of the South. And I was like, you put a wall up in 3 and 4, you might have that. Yeah. Yeah.
I wish they would put a wall up in 3 and 4. It'd be really good.
I think they might be doing it after the Ice Bowl this year. Yeah. Because rumor has it World of Outlaw sprint cars, not this year, but I think they're coming back. They're going to have 410 wing sprint cars, but I think World of Outlaws maybe high limit. It's probably going to end up being high limit because Kyle Larson is going to say, hey, this is where we need to run. But they did some 360 stuff last year, had some good car counts. And that's the reason why they put the wall up in 1 and 2.
Say, one of them guys go out there, going to end up at the big track.
Yeah. Talladega is no joke. Yeah. But I love Talladega Short Track. I love racing in the winter period. Yeah. I love that there is no off season.
In Talladega, I don't know if people know it, but from our area, it's easy to get there. Just straight down the highway. You're
5 hours, 20 minutes from the Louisville area. Yeah. 2 turns.
Yeah, that's it.
2 turns. You get on 65 South, and you stay on that till you get to Birmingham, and you get on 59.
Yeah, I think 59.
And you can take it down, and you can't miss it. The biggest racetrack in the country. Yeah. Talladega Super Speedway. It's across the street.
Yeah, it's right straight across the street from that.
That's it. Like I said, we're coming up into Christmas week, Flash, so... Yeah.
And if you do go to Ice Bowl, go to the museum across the street because it's really awesome.
Yeah. First off, everybody should go to the Ice Bowl because Ice Bowl you get 500 late models. Yeah. Racing for 3 days.
Every division is late model division.
Yes. Super late models, crate late models, limited late models, 602 late models, late model sportsman late models. Yeah. Late model street stocks. Stock late models.
The street stocks have big tires on them. So.
Yeah. Everything down south is good at Talladega. Yeah. Yeah. But like Flash said, go to the museum. They got the National Speedway Hall of Fame. Yeah. A bunch of old cup cars and stuff in the museum. Things like $10 to get in. Yeah. You can spend 2 hours over there easy. They have the library if you're
Yeah.
if you're like me into old racing newspapers. They have the library there. You can check that out. But not only that, pay the extra $5 upcharge to go in the pits and go to TJ's Crawfish trailer in the pits.
Oh yeah.
The best shrimp bowl I've ever eaten in my life was at Talladega Short Track.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was so damn good.
Yeah.
Like that's the best shrimp bowl I ever had. Guy cooks them right there in the back of his trailer. Really good food at Talladega Short Track. That's it for this week's show. If you see me out and about this week,
Yeah.
hey, don't worry about the bags under my eyes. Nobody punched me. I didn't get no black eyes. I'm just tired of shit because we got a bunch of stuff going on, but wouldn't have it any other way, really.
I don't know.
So until next week, we'll be trading sliders.